Hey, welcome to another weekly Wealth Walk. I'm Jerry Fetta, the CEO of Philanthro Wealth, and I want to share with you a very important part of my vision. I want to see if you align with it and if this is something that's part of your vision as well, because it's very important to me that it is. Stay tuned. Hey, Jerry Fetta here again. So we are doing another weekly Wealth Walk. The purpose of these weekly Wealth Walks really is for me to show you I'm walking the walk with my own blueprint to financial freedom, with my own banking system, with all of the things that I teach. I'm someone that's actually doing them, right? Because there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of gurus. There's a lot of this and that. And we don't always know if these people are legit, right? So this is to show you I'm in the trenches with you. As my good friend Teddy would say, I'm in the arena with you, because that's what matters. That's what counts. Now, on this week's Wealth Walk, I want to really talk to you about the banking concept, right? Now, for those of you that may not know about the banking concept, there's this thing we use called the sacred account, right? The sacred account, right? Now, the sacred account is a life insurance policy that we structure with a very specific design that allows someone to become their own bank. Okay, now, I'm sure we can all agree, and show me some hearts here, some likes here on the video, if you agree with me that banks are not your friend. They're not out to help. They're trying to make a buck and avoid going to prison. Those are their two primary objectives. Make money and don't go to jail, right? And sometimes they don't even succeed at the second one. Okay, but we can look back and we can see, in 2020, when we were all locked in our homes, banks were given a lot of money that they were supposed to distribute to us, and they didn't. Okay, in 2023, when we had one of our worst years in United States history in terms of bank failures, right? The banks were, again, being irresponsible with our money. They were profiting and doing it at an advantage over us in a way where we lose and they win, right? And even when they get bailed out, in 2008 and in 2023, this happened, they take the bailout money and they pay themselves bonuses with it, right? So banks are not somewhere that the wealthy grow their wealth. It's not something that the top 1% are using as far as putting money in a savings account or a checking account. And they're not out to help us, right? The average that happens when you put money in a bank, they're going to borrow against your deposit, pay you little to nothing, right? And then what are they going to do? They're going to loan that out to someone on their mortgage, on a credit card, on a car loan, on a student loan. And the best way I ever heard this described, and this really, really impacted me when I heard this, right? What the banking system does is slavery. They create financial slaves. Hey, what's up? Jerry here. I just wanted to give you another reminder. Grab my book, Blueprint to Financial Freedom. It's going to be one of the best books you have ever read on finance. I can promise you that. You're going to love it. It's also a free offer. So if you go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo, you can get that now. Okay, so I want you to think about this. When someone goes out and gets a mortgage, okay, because I don't want you to be like, oh, Jerry's just throwing out big terms and words and blowing this out of proportion to make this a big deal so that more of us want to do sacred accounts. I really don't care if you don't want to do a sacred account, right? You're not my people if you don't want to do a sacred account. There's no reason for you to watch the video, but for those of you that get what I'm about to say, this is really important. I want you to imagine someone that goes out and gets a house. They get a mortgage with the bank. Right? Now, the individual, the consumer, what are they thinking? They're thinking, oh, maybe I'm getting a good interest rate. I'm going to own my home someday and whatever, right? So they go to the bank, they put their down payment, they finance a house on a mortgage. Okay. Now, I want you to realize the money that the bank loans them is not the bank's money. It's not the bank's money. The bank is borrowing against someone else's deposits. So the bank is putting us in a position with the mortgage thing where the bank is loaning money that's not even theirs so that this person can then go buy a house and then pay the bank back with principal and interest on that loan with money that wasn't even the bank's in the first place. Right? Now think about, where does principal and interest payments come from? It comes from somebody's income. Where does somebody's income come from? It comes from their time. It comes from their energy. It comes from their effort. Things that they're never going to get back, right? So this person is now a slave to this monthly payment. What's going to happen if they miss the payment? The bank is going to take the house away. Why would the bank take the house away and keep the house? Now, here's the thing. The bank's going to keep the house, maybe sell it at auction or on foreclosure, right? But think about, why would the bank be the one keeping the house when the money that was loaned out didn't belong to the bank in the first place? Right? Wouldn't it make sense that it's like they go back to the depositor that they took the money from in the first place and say, hey, sorry, we took your money, this guy didn't pay, we've got a house, here you go, right? No, the bank is on the title. The bank keeps the house. The bank sells the house at foreclosure. You know, the other thing that happens is when the bank borrows against deposits, they're creating currency and causing inflation. Right? Now, what happens when you have inflation? With inflation, goods and services cost more for the everyday consumer. Right? Bread costs more, gas costs more, groceries cost more. We all feel it happening right now. Okay? What else happens when inflation occurs? Asset prices go up. Inflation is a tool that causes the rich to get richer and everyone else to become poor. When everyone else becomes poor, what happens? They have to borrow more money because they don't have enough of their own. And it feeds into the whole cycle. Guys, this is financial imprisonment. Okay, so you've all heard the phrase, if you can't beat them, join them, right? No one person is going to beat the banks. Right? Probably closest ever in United States history was President Andrew Jackson. He got rid of temporarily the Federal Reserve Bank. He balanced the United States budget. Right? He paid off all of our debt while he was president. Love him or hate him, the guy did some good things there, right? But the banks constantly were after him. Constantly. It was one man battling the banks, right? And when I say the banks, I mean the JP Morgans, I mean the Wells Fargos, I mean the Federal Reserve. Like, these are the groups that this guy was against. And so today, Andrew Jackson is dead. The Federal Reserve is back. We have more debt than ever. We have a bigger budget deficit than ever as a country. One man didn't beat the bank. Right? So if you can't beat them, join them. This is why I tell you to start your own banking system. Okay, I want you to think about in your life, if you never had to make a payment to someone else's bank ever again. Right? And every dollar that you earned, you were able to recapture the interest you would pay on that to a bank. You were able to get it to grow, because here's the thing. You're paying interest, you're paying a cost on every dollar you make no matter what. You're either paying the cost of borrowing, because you're borrowing money from a bank and paying interest, or you're spending in cash, and when you spend in cash, you're paying opportunity cost. So when you do a sacred account, you're avoiding both of those things. You don't have to borrow from another bank. All of that interest becomes recaptured. It goes into your banking system. It goes into the companies that you own, right? The life insurance policies that you benefit from, not Bank of America, not Wells Fargo. We solve that. You no longer have interest on any dollar you're paying because you recapture it all. You're on the receiving end now. Next, I don't want to interrupt you too long. I just want to give you a free offer for my book, The Blueprint to Financial Freedom. If you go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo, you can get the book now. I'm going to let you get back to the video. Okay, now the other thing is the future value, the opportunity cost. When you spend in cash, you lose out on the future value, the opportunity cost of what that dollar could have been had you not spent it. When you put money in a life insurance policy, you are able to recapture the growth of that in the future as well, because the money still grows when you use it. So you solve the two problems that happen with every dollar you will ever receive: cost of interest or cost of opportunity. Right? Huge. Now, here's where I want to share this with you. I have 6 sacred accounts. I want to open up number 7 and number 8 this year. Right? But my whole thing is I want to build a network of benevolent bankers. Because what can occur is we learn a concept, unfortunately. We're like, oh, the banks do this to people and they make money with it, and we don't like it when we experience it, right? Show me some hearts or comment below if you don't enjoy banks taking advantage of you, charging you overages on interest and basically financially preying on you because you don't know any better and you don't have another option. So if you learned how to become a banker, how messed up would it be to be like, now I'm going to go do the very thing I don't like when it happens to me, and I'm going to do that to other people because I'm the bank now. No. So you need to become a benevolent banker. What does benevolent mean? Benevolent means that you have good intentions. You're not doing it only for profits and money. You're trying to help, right? You're trying to actually, make a better world around you. And in fact, the word benevolent has the root word to wish, right? Wealth comes from the same root word, to wish. You have a better wish for your life. You have a better wish for society, and you're using your banking system to create that. So when you're first starting with your banking system, you're going to do what I did. You're going to pay off your debt. You're going to self-finance all your things so that you don't do business with anyone's bank but your own. Okay, the second thing you're going to do is you're going to then start helping other people through your banking system. You know, you're going to do things like seller finance real estate, where you're helping people own homes and build equity, and you earn some interest off that, but you're not doing it in a way that's harming them. You're not doing it in a way that's going to financially injure them. You're doing it in a way that helps. That's what a benevolent banker does. They use their banking system because they build it, they create it, they're able to use it and think for themselves and build wealthier lives for themselves, for their loved ones, for the world around them. Right? So that's what I wanted to share with you this week on my weekly wealth walk. Is my goal is, if you have a sacred account, you don't just have a sacred account, you are one of these benevolent bankers I'm talking about. Right? If you don't have a sacred account, guys, this is the whole point. It's not just, oh, here's this little tool the 1% use and we're going to use it to get rich. Great, that should happen. But how are we making a positive impact on the world around us? Are you being a benevolent banker, or are you just being a banker? You know, I've got a banking system. Let me go screw as many people as I can. Let me make more money and more profit just for the sake of money and profit because I can be a bank now. Okay, if you're the former, where you're like, I want to be a benevolent banker. I have good intentions. I wish well on society. I want to help. I want to contribute. It's not just about the profits and the money. It's about the impact we can make. Because I want you to think about, if we had, what my goal is, 8 million people using a banking system, using the sacred account. About 8 million people, that's about 5% of the working population. If they were using that instead, I want you to think about the ripple effect of banks no longer being able to charge interest on those 8 million people and the people that they're impacting with their own banking system. Right? Wall Street not being used anymore by those 8 million people and the people that they're working with and impacting. Right? The money that's going in these sacred accounts no longer being taxed by the IRS for 8 million families and all the people that they're impacting. Right? That's the vision here. That's the goal. So if you're setting up one sacred account or two or three or four, you're leading by example as a benevolent banker. And that does mean you need to be able to think for yourself when it comes to money. Bankers don't go to a financial advisor and say, what should I do? Right? I guarantee you, John Rockefeller wasn't like, what do I do with my money now that I have it? So guys, I hope that this video gives you an insight into my vision, why I'm doing what I'm doing, what the Wealth Walk is all about, right? So if you enjoyed this, please like, please comment below, ask any questions that you have. By the way, turn that little notifications bell on so that you get updates on my videos, and feel free to share this with someone as well. I will see you again on my next weekly Wealth Walk. Hey, this is Jerry Fetta here. I want to thank you for watching my video, watching my content. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to learn more about the blueprint to financial freedom and how you can achieve passive income that exceeds your savings, your expenses, your taxes, your generosity, and build wealth like the top 1%, I want to encourage you, grab a copy of my book, The Blueprint to Financial Freedom. You can go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo, or you can click the link in the description of the video here. The copy is free. You cover your shipping. We'll send the book out to you, and we'll send you an email with a bunch of great bonus material also for free. Get the book, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on my next content.